last proper Epic Records release for the band, which was Heard You Miss Me, I'm Back. There were a few great tracks on that album, Vicky, that you played on. Which ones stand out for you?
I played on the song called Greed.
So were you shocked that it basically was, that the A&R guys said, you know what, this guy's he's not hip anymore. Was that the feeling? Do you know? Was the band getting that type of reception even when you were there and during the live performances?
Well, we played at Radio City Music Hall in New York, and there wasn't many people there. Like there wasn't much buzz about that concert. I don't know if it was because of all the rumors of him being not able to show up for concerts. Just he was so talented in so many ways.
Eric Brenner here with Breaking News Los Angeles. We are speaking with violin player Vicki Blackwell, who was a member of Sly and the Family Stone from late 1974, taking over for the great Sid Page on violin. I believe he went off to Robin Trower after Sly, and Vicki was brought in as a full-time band member. And according to our conversations, Vicki, uh, Sly Stone really took a liking to you. And during the,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think he did. I think he related to my talent, like because um, I mean, at one point he said we were like Adam and Eve because we were both so focused on music and creating, and uh, he wanted me to teach him violin. So I gave him a lesson and stuff like that. It was just, I mean, we got along so well, almost like brother and sister type thing, but we loved each other too. When he would tell people, play something for them, blah, blah, blah. And I would, and I was like, to me, no big deal, but apparently he did think a lot of me. But I thought a lot of him too.
And so when you were during the auditions, or were there auditions, or this was just like, hey, how
No,
did this happen? How did this come to be that
at
you
the
became a
very
member?
beginning, I I met him at the record plant in Sausalito. Someone had brought me there because they knew he was recording, and I met him and Freddie, and they took me into the studio where they were recording. They sat me down in the engineer's room, like in the where all the where they do all the recording stuff, and sat me down in a chair. Then each one of them sat on the sides of me, and then they proceeded to record the basic of a song. And I don't know if they made it up at the moment. I don't know how I should have asked, but after they were finished, they just looked at me for my reaction. I just said, "Wow, you should see what you just did." And so then Sly looked at me all slyly, and he put his head back. And he shook his head. Yeah, that's right. So then after that, I just went about my daily life, and I was listening to the radio, walking down Sausalito sidewalk one day, and I heard one of their new songs, and I heard my name in the song. And I thought, no, surely I'm just imagining that. So I ended up at the studio again somehow, and I asked him, I said, "Did you call my name on so and so record, so and so song?" And he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Well, okay." And then another time I said, "I want to play in your band." And so he said, "Okay, sure, I'm okay with it." He said, "But ask Cynthia." So I went, she was in the other room. I asked her, and she said, "Sure, I don't care." So that's how I got to be in Sly and the Family Stone. Although the communication, our communication, we didn't have hand phones at that time. You had to call on a phone. What I'm talking about is like a desk phone, rotary phone, or whatever. So, um, anyway, so I found out that they were going to play in Vegas, and I didn't have the money to go to Vegas to be in the band, and there were no no communication, here's some money to get there, or anything like that. So somebody gave me some money and said, I want to see you make it. So they gave me money. I got on a plane. I went to Vegas to the Sahara Hotel, which doesn't exist right now. Um, and I just did all this by faith. Like, I just got in a taxi from the plane, went to the hotel, and they said, well, we have a room for you. And so that's how it started. And I thought this was in Vegas, and I thought, well, okay, we're going to play today in Vegas. But we ended up flying from there to, I think, Michigan, did a concert in Michigan, and then flew back to Vegas and did two concerts that night. I think one was midnight, one was 3 in the morning, and like standing room only, and it was a gigantic room. It was called the Space Room. And we did I think Eric Burden and the Animals opened up for us, and there were like movie stars, backstage, like big name singers, and I was just like so in another world.
Great stuff here from Vicki Blackwell of Sly and the Family Stone, the violinist for the band from late 1974 to early 1976, appearing on the Epic release, the last proper Epic Records release for Sly and the Family Stone. The name of that album was Heard You Missed Me, Well, I'm Back. And now she's right here. Vicki Blackwell on Breaking News Los Angeles, right here, sharing some personal stories about this great musician who we lost today, Sly Stone, who was started out basically as a DJ on KDIA radio up in the Oakland area, up in Oakland. He also helped bring to prominence guys like Bobby Freeman, and the Beau Brummels were also under his wing, and the Great Society, which featured Grace Slick, Darby Slick, Jerry Slick, among others. He produced these great bands, and they all had absolute nothing but adulation and pure respect for Sly Stone and the producer's chair. He then went on to he met Jerry Martini at the studio when he was a DJ for KDIA radio there in Oakland, and Jerry Martini, the saxophone player, and he was the one who convinced Sly Stone to put together his own band, and the rest is history, becoming one of the stars at the Woodstock Music and Arts Festival in 1969.